Hey, all my Aries friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today to talk about March 2023, your personal monthly horoscope. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology. So I'm talking about Aries rising. If you don't know your rising sign, you can go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your exact time and location of birth. These videos are also applicable for Aries moon and Aries sun. I believe the moon is on a par with our rising sign in influence. So for me, I think it's rising moon and sun because humans are emotional creatures and we manifest off our emotional body. When I refer to a time or a day, I am in the Pacific time zone, so please adjust for your location. Okay, Aries, let's start with March. The first thing that I want to talk about is Venus is going to make an exact conjunction in Aries at 13 degrees with Chiron, and Jupiter will be at 12 degrees on March 3rd. This is significant because Venus represents our self-worth. She represents our possessions and our relationships and our, what we find comfort, art, and beauty. But here she is in the sign of Aries, your first house. So this is all about you and how you feel about yourself, how you project yourself, how you perceive yourself in the world. So Venus and Chiron are at the 13th degree, which is also the Aryan degree. So here we are looking at our beliefs. Jupiter's at the 12th degree. They're all having a very strong and intense conversation about wounds, about where we have felt unseen in our lifetime, and are we seeing ourselves? And Jupiter here is offering an opportunity to expand our perception and to really garnish the wisdom that Chiron has to offer. Chiron is like this double-edged sword because it is a wound, but the wound is also a gift. The wound is what propels us in a certain direction to seek answers or to seek some sort of reconciliation. So I think this is really important because it's going to be felt all throughout early March. And this is also going to be felt as Saturn moves into Pisces. So Aries is your first house. So I said that. This on the same day, on the 3rd, Mercury is going to enter Pisces. And at the same time, it's going to be conjunct Saturn at the 29th degree of Aquarius. Aquarius is Aries' 11th house. So here now Mercury is entering the sign of spirituality and escapism, the sign of feeling unseen and isolated in some ways. And here is Saturn at the very mastering degree of Leo, 29 degrees here, in its last moments of its domicile, of its rulership. And so I think this is an opportunity for you to take not just this day, but this first couple of weeks of March and really assess what you want, where you want to move forward and expand yourself in your 11th house of networks, and to be willing to be diligent, to be willing to continue the path without immediate results, which is not easy for Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. You've spent a quite frustrating 2022 with Mars being bunched up in your 3rd house, going back and forth, and not really getting any traction. So this beginning of March is pivotal. And if for some reason you're feeling frustrated or angry or resentful of old stories that keep feeling like they're repeating themselves, this is Chiron's influence as you assert yourself bravely as the peaceful warrior in your own life. On March 7th, Saturn will be entering Pisces. I've done a separate video on that. It is based on your rising sign, and it also includes Pluto's toe tip into Aquarius, which is also happening in March. These are significant changes. The idea that Saturn has been in its rulership for almost 5 years, 4.5 years between its journey through Capricorn and then its journey here through Aquarius, now it's going to go into this emotional sign. So we're going to feel a very palatable change. And at the very same day, now this Saturn move is going to be is a slow move. It is, it's a feeling that we're going to feel coming upon us and get increasingly more palatable. On the 7th, we're going to have a full moon at 4:40 a.m. Pacific time at 16 degrees Virgo. This is the 6th full moon in a row at the Cancerian degree. I will also be doing a separate video on that. But this full moon is very important because it is going to, the full moons have indicated a journey through the lower hemisphere of the zodiac. And you are experiencing this full moon in your 6th house, which will be your employment, what you feel enslaved to, how you're dealing with your health. Because if you've been angry or resentful, that is going to affect your physical body. And here's an opportunity to reconcile that and to extract the wisdom from it. Because at this full moon, the sun will be at 16 degrees Pisces, making a sextile to Uranus in your 2nd house of Taurus. Taurus rules family history. It's ruled by Venus. We see Venus having a very important conversation with Chiron and Jupiter, allowing you to expand your beliefs beyond what you have given yourself permission to experience up until now. The idea of, when I think about Uranus, there's a feeling of it controlling lots of kinds of weather. And it happens to be very windy where I am today. And I almost feel like this full moon is going to blow something out that has been stagnant for Aries. And this may be, with your ruling planet being in Gemini for so long, it may be how you've been thinking and getting caught up in a habitual way of thinking that isn't serving you. By the 8th, right after this full moon, Venus is going to have a conjunction with the United States natal Chiron. This is going to affect those around the world because as the planets traverse over the United States 5th house of Aries, I think we're going to see dynamics around us start to move into areas that are requiring us to pull our sight above the minutia. So I'm bringing this up because I think as Mercury enters Pisces, it's offering you an opportunity to look at things from a spiritual point of view versus just wanting to get superficial information and move on. On the 10th, Jupiter will be exact Chiron. Now we're at 14 degrees Aries. Again, Aries being your 1st house, the 14th degree is the Taurian degree. There is a theme of addressing what has been before. Saturn rules history. And when Saturn moves into Pisces, it's ruling ancestors and history together, karmic patterns, imprints that the soul has habitually perpetrated upon itself. And here we get an opportunity to really choose what works for us and then allow that which does not work for us to start to plant the seeds of wisdom and to paying attention to that intuitive knowing. I think this is really important because a lot of this activity we're seeing with Venus and Jupiter and Chiron in your 1st house is redefining you to yourself, and therefore other people are experiencing you in an evolved way. By the 13th of March, we will see Mars at 26 degrees Gemini, which is your 3rd house, making a trine to Saturn at 1 degree Pisces. This is going to be felt and feel a little bit stronger as we move through the month. Mars is teeing up to move into Cancer, and here we see Saturn just starting its journey through Pisces. Here, I think this is where we're really contemplating our history, but the trine aspect is a harmonious aspect. So when I review where I've been, I use it as a tool to engage my intuitive body. It's like I've walked through this path before. How do I want to walk through it again. And retrogrades offer this because Saturn in no short order will move up to the 7th degree of Pisces, retrograde back to the 0 degree, and then move forward again. So you're going to get to feel Saturn's influence on how you think and how you take action throughout this month. And it's giving you an opportunity to extract benefit from it, because again, Jupiter is in your first house. So as you extract the wisdom from the wound, the gift, you will benefit and expand and monetarily probably make more money. It's going to be up to the individual. On the 16th, Venus will enter her rulership Taurus. And by the end of the month, she will be exact Uranus. This is a real opportunity to extract not just wisdom and emotional reconciliation. I'm not a fan of the word forgiveness. It doesn't really work for me. I'm a Taurus moon. And when I feel slighted or hurt, I need a genuine apology. And I rarely get one. So I tend to don't really forgive. So rather than being angry, I extract wisdom. I find a reconciliation. I use it to not walk the path again. So this is going to be important because I think there's a liberating aspect to this as we walk through the month and we start to extract whatever that full moon in Virgo gave us. We're going to start to see where we've been enslaved, either in our mind or literally in our everyday activities. On the 19th of March, Mercury will enter Aries. It will, by the 27th of the month, so as it moves through the month, we're going to see it transit over Chiron and ultimately have a conversation with Jupiter. Now, this is significant because on the natural axis, the Mercury rules the 3rd house of thinking, everyday thoughts, and Jupiter rules the 9th house of large thoughts. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the point? And here it is in your house of self. So I think you're going to come to some realizations that really allow you expansion, evolution, to feel your power in a way that feels more as you've mastered. You know who you are and where you want to go. And while there's still journey ahead, you're more aware, so you can walk the path with more prowess and skill. By the 20th, the sun will have entered Aries, and we will be having a new moon the very next day at 0 degrees Aries. That is the world axis. Again, another really, really powerful degree of new energy. I very much always think of it as a birthing of this energy, a burst of it. And here, I'm going to do a separate video on that. Again, I like to do separate videos for the full moon and the new moon, because 2 days later, Pluto enters Aquarius. So we're going to feel Pluto's energy very much on this new moon. And Pluto will remain at that 0 degree throughout its toe tipping into Aquarius. And again, I want to encourage you to watch that video. By the 25th of the month, Mars will have entered Cancer. And by the end of the month, it will be having a trine to your 4th house with Saturn at 2 degrees Pisces. So for my Aries, I feel like Mars's entry into Cancer, while it's not its favorite place, again, here we're seeing Mars move into an emotional sign. We're seeing Saturn move into an emotional sign, and neither Mars nor Saturn particularly likes the gushy emotions. Mars does not mind displaying anger and frustration. I'm an Aries rising, I know that very well. But here, I think that the month of March is one of the most pivotal months, if not the most pivotal month of 2023, because we culminate this month with some sort of reconciliation of my home life, my childhood, and where I have been up until now. And I really think Saturn is offering me an opportunity to look about how I nurture myself and how I don't really look to others to give me something that I'm not already giving to myself. I think it's a very, very powerful time for you. And it's really concentrating on the houses that reflect your your home experience. Cancer is your 4th house. Gemini is the 3rd house of siblings and neighborhoods and your early schooling period. The 12th house, Pisces, is about my ancestral and karmic patterns, and it's very there's a lot of imprint going on there. And then we see Taurus representing your 2nd house of self-worth as a result of your experience with the home, and then so much activity in your 1st house. And of course, Aquarius is in there as well, and how people have interpreted that, but more so your hopes and your dreams. So allowing yourself this month of March to be one that takes inspired action, that there is a moment where you give yourself permission to pause and say, am I taking action? Is this thought based on something historic, an imprint, something I react to? Or am I taking this action based on something that I am intentional about, something that I am looking at the full picture, opening up widely? That would be Jupiter's influence in your 1st house. And you're going to enjoy Jupiter until May. So let's take advantage of these energies. All right, guys, that's it for now. Please join me Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Pacific time, where we look at the week ahead's transits, and I do a little bit of tarot and angel readings to get source energies, advice for traversing those transits. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. I read all your comments. I try to respond to them all. I don't always get a chance to, but I appreciate you. And be sure to hit that notification bell, because I've got lots of content coming up. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye, Aries. Peace out.